guys, what is up? Welcome back. CGDannyB here again with another episode of Pokemon Gotta Watch 'Em All, the podcast where we talk about every single Pokemon movie. We talk about the things we love, the things we hate, and then we rank them. Today we are watching the 25th movie, the final movie that we have available to us, and we're ranking and talking about Pokemon Secrets of the Jungle. With me,
Pocket Monsters.
Pokemon Star.
So this movie's
Secrets
weird.
of the Jungle.
This movie's weird because it's called Coco in Japanese, but in English they
Correct,
give it like
yeah.
the whole title.
Yeah, which threw me out because I kept calling it Coco. It was like, what is that? I'm like, Zarude. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's not the Disney movie.
It's the Disney Pokemon collab.
Yeah. So actually, this movie, Ash goes and celebrates Dia de los Muertos. Satoshi, my bad.
So here's the thing.
I had to Google some Pokemon names in this movie.
I've been watching Pokemon in Japanese for a while because like the anime always comes out first in Japan. So I always known Ash as Satoshi, and I thought that was common knowledge. So a couple years ago, I was talking to somebody, and like the Satoshi slipped out, and I'm very self-conscious about the whole Ash Satoshi thing. Be like, who? So I was talking to some friend. I was like, yeah, Satoshi, and then like Charstar being Lissardro is his name in Japanese. So I let it slip, and people were like, who? And I was like, it's the Japanese name. It's like, no, his name's Ash. I was like,
it's Ash.
Well,
stupid.
It's Ash in English. There's no translation for his actual name. They're like, no, his name's Ash in Japanese too. I watch it. I was like, shut the I'm telling you, you don't. Like, his name's always been Satoshi.
Yeah, speaking of Japanese, because this movie has yet to get a release date for the U.S., we had to watch this one.
So we had to fly to Japan.
We flew to Japan to find the one theater in small town Tokyo that was playing this movie.
During COVID.
I need you to like and comment on this video because I can now not afford to pay rent because of what I had to pay to fly to Japan for all 5 of us. So please like and comment.
I had to sell my 2 ferrets. So.
It was worth, but my wallet was
We had to sell some organs to get back. It was bad.
Chris does not have kidneys anymore, so he might not make it through the episode.
You might see the blood.
Like Chris can't use mouthwash anymore. His body can't handle the alcohol content.
Oh man. Speaking of Chris, I have a whole crew of people here featuring Dante, Kanai, Chris, and John. As always, thank you guys once again for joining me. Not only for this episode, but the entirety of the series, except when you were getting divorced and when you were also getting divorced. I forget what your bit was.
I thought he died.
He might have died.
Yeah, he died.
I probably said it for everyone.
You said Necromonicon. It's okay.
Connor, thank you for the 3 episodes you're on.
Yeah, thanks
Just
for
saying,
showing up for
right
the movie
now-
that took place in the Genuine.
Nobody moved to
Appreciate it,
Sanshiro because the way that it's on camera, it looks like it's peeking over the laptop because of the way you have the laptop angle.
I will do everything not to move it. No, that's so cute. Shout out to y'all voting for Sandshrew last week. Look, I want the points, but I think Sandshrew deserved a win there. Sandshew's too cute to not get the vote. But we are talking about Pokemon Secret of the Jungle, the movie featuring Zarude. Normally, this is the part of the show where I read the description off the Pokemon website, but turns out they don't have one for this movie. So,
It's too good to be a Pokemon.
apparently, yeah. So I guess we'll just start off.
Do you want me to give a very swift, brief?
I have one. I mean, if you want to do it, you can.
It starts off like Tarzan and ends like James Cameron's Avatar. That's the whole movie.
I was going to say, that was very similar. I was
Yeah.
going to say, it starts out as a better Tarzan with a better Tarzan ending. Yeah.
If it had Phil Collins, it'd be perfect.
So last night I made a couple comments. Connor and Kenai joined in, and then Zed is the name of the one scientist.
Yeah.
I called him Clayton,
Okay.
and then I was like, this is just Tarzan without Phil Collins.
Yeah.
And somehow
So
Connor,
Did have some bangers
Connor's
though.
like, that
somebody
implies
edit
Phil
that?
Collins was the problem. And I was like, I think he was just saying this doesn't have Phil Collins.
I was like, it's just Phil Collins list. Like, there's not like a fire track because there's a different fire track that's playing the whole time.
However, if we can just edit it.
It's called the
To
Rule
put the-
Song.
I would not mind just like a Son of Man intro there when he's like raising Coke.
Hear me out. We switched the intro songs. We put the intro song on, or the rule song on.
Zarude!
Yeah.
Zarude!
Zarudo. That, oh my god, dude. I was like, all right, let's get this shit over with. And I see like the like, Pika! Dum, 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 dum. And I was like, okay. Zarudo! Oh, Zarudo! And I was like, yo!
It was like the perfect blend of Pokemon and like the Wakanda music from Black
I
Panther.
was so
that
hyped.
just smacked it. I'm like, God damn it.
The minute that song hit, I was like, yes.
So,
done.
This
when,
was
when
the.
this comes
you
out
know
in
what? I
English.
probably shouldn't say that. Never
So
mind.
just so you know, when this comes out in English, they're gonna change all the songs.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they always change the songs.
Which, okay, so I'll go in, because this is the first movie that we've had to watch in Japanese. I think up to this point, you're the only one who watches them in Japanese. But this one, because we don't have a US release, and again, we flew to Japan to watch this one. Because we don't want to talk about any other reason how we saw it. So yeah, we watched this one in Japanese, which I thought was really, really cool and fun. And I'm wondering if all of these movies have suffered from their 4Kids-esque English dub. And I want to see what Secret of the Jungle is like in English.
There's
to
times
see
where
if
you guys say something, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's not even part of the plot. What the fuck? And then I remember you guys are watching it in English, and that happens with anime all the time. Where,
Yeah.
like High School DxD, if you watch it in English, bro, it goes a completely separate
Yeah.
route than the Japanese. But they use the same scenes and everything stays the same. But it's the way they describe
words are
something.
different, yeah.
So there's times where you guys will say something. I think I pointed it out every time when I'm like, when did that happen? Because
Yeah. But I can't let Dante and Kanai talk about this movie yet because I need to see them come at each other later. But Chris, how did you like Secrets of the Jungle?
So I genuinely adore this film. I cried 3 times.
Ooh.
3 times.
I'm interested to see
during the whole
where. So
yeah, dude, because like my whole thing, and I am a sucker for the parent that's protecting the child, and like that whole storyline.
you just
how
like
that unfolds.
Tarzan.
Except Kerchak was an asshole.
But yeah, like
Unless we watch it in Japanese.
Is
then he's the
Kerchak
best.
just the shitty Zarude that was like, get the fuck out of my tree?
He's the like buff one at the beginning, yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
so for like me, like this had like a almost perfect blend of using Pokemon for the versatility and people involvement. The way this movie unfolded, beautiful.
Yeah,
I genuinely adore it.
it's yeah. I agree. John, what'd you think about
So,
Secret of the Jungle?
can I say the placing of this movie for me on my personal list?
Sure.
Okay, so I have it a lot lower than it should be. It should be a lot higher. I have it as number 10, and I feel like it should be a lot higher. However, oh yeah, I loved it. It should no, I said it should be a lot higher, but I have it as number 10. However, the ending, I like the ending a lot more, or not more. I like the ending of this, and I think that the theme that Tarzan had, which was the identity crisis that he developed, right, in the middle of the movie, this movie did it better. And Ash, for the first time ever, I'm glad he's in a movie because Ash was the reason. He was the plot point for
He
Coco
led Coco
to say,
to do it, yeah.
I'm not a Pokemon, essentially. And it was pretty cool. I usually hate Ash's involvement, and I think this movie was very well done. So I'm not going to complain about Ash 1.
Do you know why you like it?
Why?
Because Ash was a fucking side character in this
Yeah,
movie. Coco's
yeah.
the main character.
Okay.
And
100%.
well, I also noticed that apart from Ash is You, Ash in this new
Reboot series.
reboot
yeah.
series, Ash has been the side character other than Ash is You. He's been the side because he was in The Power of Us.
Power of Us. He was a
Yeah,
side
he
character
was
that had
the
too
side-
much screen time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that if they keep going with this formula, it's very well done. Animation wise, this movie had the best one. I keep saying that every time we see a new movie, but the
Dog.
animation and
Bro.
the pan of like when they do the fights and they go from like not CGI, but it's like
It's
It's a
That
mixture
bit
of 2D and CGI.
yeah.
Okay.
That bit with
2D,
Pikachu, oh my
which
god. Where Pikachu's charging the Iron Tail and they're just
yeah, I
like,
came my
throwing
I
Pikachu
literally came my
around.
pants in that scene. Yeah.
This-
I like the Vine Fist.
I lost
Yeah.
my
Right, like-
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This-
the
so
dynamic
good.
punch or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Also, this movie made usually mythicals look
Woodhammer?
like shit.
Could be Woodhammer.
They look like shit because like
I heard that. I
Who
heard the
did?
fuck out of my hand.
they
doing
look like
that
shit,
whole
but they don't get fan service.
Who look like shit?
Usually mythicals, like they
Okay.
get treated like shit. But this movie, I already like Zarude because I naturally like 8 Pokemon. But this movie took it to the next level for me.
I did not care about Zarude until I saw this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we've complained about it a lot with Hoopa, Volcanion, and Magearna.
See, I
which
like
were
them.
mythicals are just kind of like, here they
Yeah.
are, you don't have them, tough shit. Like, this is one, I got a Zarude from you.
Yeah.
And I think up until this point, I could have lived without one. I'm like, fuck. I'm glad I got a Zarude from John because this is such a cool fucking Pokemon.
So I got him, and I remember seeing the trailer, the Japanese trailer for Coco, and I was like, oh, there's an 8 Pokemon, another one. And then I ended up getting him in the game, and I liked him a lot. And then I finally watched the movie, and I already liked him, and design-wise, he was really up there. But seeing him this way, I'm like, oh yeah, he's up there. For if I had to make a list of Pokemon, he's easily like very high for me, like design wise.
I know for sure top 10. I'd have to sit and like look at my list, but as I think of always, it's like Kyogre, Lugia, and then it's kind of Giratina is like 3, and then I kind of shift between the rest. I can easily see somewhere between 4 and 10 is.
Now
is
the one you have that I gave you is the one without the pink scarf.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, I need to get the one that because it's out there. You can get it.
The pink scarf one. Yeah.
I want the pink scarf one.
I assume we were gonna get a distro event, but again, where's our fucking English movie? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Once we get that sweet,
I want to see it
sweet
in
release
theaters,
date.
dude.
yeah, I'm down.
I want to see it.
Dude, I will 100% see it again.
I want to support that Pokemon
We
movie.
supported it the first time by going to Japan.
Yeah.
The weird one, I think
Support
Zarude was
good
distributed,
translations.
but it was only to Pokemon Trainers newsletter. It was weird.
Right. Yeah. Which is one of the things I signed up for. My buddy was like, "Hey, the Zarude distribution." I'm like, "I don't have the email."
Yeah, I
I
didn't
never
get the
got
email
it
either.
I never got it.
I didn't get an email.
You can
for it,
only
so I didn't
you
get
can
one.
only get screwed if you got a code from like a Japanese.
Right. Well, there was on the Pokemon website you could fill out whatever form.
Yeah, they were advertising
You're
it.
supposed to get it, and I had buddies who got it, but I didn't get mine. So I was.
Did I give you a Chinese Celebi too or no?
No.
So it came with I still have a bunch. If you guys want it.
I wouldn't mind.
I have a friend that basically like
I'll take it.
has a lot of
He hacks the game.
Resources.
yeah. He has a lot of resources, and he basically was like he found an algorithm how the of how the codes work. You know, so he would like generate codes and get a
Yeah.
bunch of Saroots. So all the Saroots are legit. It's just the method that was used to get them. It's not. So he gave me one and then one Celebi to accompany.
It's a great
so
area.
I literally have a whole box. I have 30 Chinese Celebis and 30 Saroots. Yeah.
Just release them. You know, just put them in the tree. They need to save.
No,
the
because
class.
they're just sitting in Sword and Shield, and I haven't booted that game up.
This
I-
movie took place in one of John's PC boxes.
All right, we can move on to Kanai and Dante.
You want to start?
Are we about to see a bloodbath?
We might.
Absolutely, we're gonna throw hands. First off, I'll ask, what generation is this?
I think this is Gen 8.
Okay, is it?
Flapples in there.
He was
Whoa, whoa.
he actually came in. He's like, "Danny, I have a bit. Can I do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, do it. Go for it."
Unfortunately, I think he's too big. He actually
Just
would
block Kanai.
cover Kanai.
I'll hold it. Give me the cake.
I will say something that I think is initially funny.
Put it right here. I'll put it right here. It
Um,
won't block. Chris.
this movie does not suck.
Yeah.
This movie's fantastic. Like, I don't know what I was expecting out of this movie. And
Deny the hater.
part of me, I guess, was getting to the point where I was just like, okay, we had two, aside from Evolution, which was a hiccup, we had two relatively strong movies. We have to hit a low at some point here, right? Nah, I'm afraid of the movie after this now because this movie is stellar.
This is the new bar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The next movie has to be on the Wolves, and yeah. There's no way we're gonna go another gen without a movie because Gen 8 didn't have, or Gen 7 didn't really have a real movie.
We had like that was all reboot time, so we didn't get a
Yeah.
Gen 7 movie.
So I don't think we're gonna go another gen without, especially with the lore, because Galore has more lore than any of the other gens, and I think that the movie's perfect to piece.
I think we can get something kick-ass with the dogs, but until that day
Pokemon
comes,
Company.
They can do Pokemon. They can
Please
do like
do a
X and
prequel.
Y. They can do like Black and White.
For
Give
the
us 2
dogs.
movies with different wolves.
but no, obviously I'm fucking around with you. So Kanai had messaged me earlier in the week. Was like, "Did you watch the movie yet?" I'm like, "I haven't." I'm like halfway through. He's like, "Dude, this movie's great. I'm scared Dante's gonna hate it."
What? I was over here calling him Kanai the hater.
No,
Did you hear me? I was
no.
like, Kanai the hater.
Yeah, no, I was fucking because they both loved it.
Yeah.
When I saw where they both ranked it on their personal list because I have them all accumulated now. And because I was talking to Connor about something else today, and he was like, "Kanai's a little concerned, like Dante might not like it." And I was like, "I'm gonna fuck with Kanai," but they both like ranked it the same. They both. And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool."
So
Bet.
I almost put it as my number 5, right? And then I was like, but I really like this one scene in this movie.
Yeah.
So like my problem with my top 10 specifically is that it was like, oh, I like this scene more than this scene, so I started ranking, and then like I saw it go from my number 3, which is what it was, and it started climbing down.
Yeah.
Because of scenes, and it's number 10. I was like, I feel like it should be at least 6. At least 6.
Here's the thing that I'll say about like my overall thoughts on the movie, and I actually got a little worried yesterday because I was just like, where where I place this, is it justified to where I placed it? Are people going to call me crazy for placing it where I placed it?
You're used to it.
Because I'm just used to that at this point. And then there are what I would say problems roughly with what I think of the movie. It has kind of like that same issue of, okay, well, the bad guy is who I think it is, like immediately from the get-go, and they try to spin it in a way. But like, this movie has the situation of, there's a lot of things that I kind of expect to happen, but it plays off in such a way to where the thing that I expect to happen feels justified, and I feel good about it. I'm not sure what the actual terminology and the conundrum is, but there's certain things as an audience member where you think, oh, this should happen, and when it does happen, you feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of that with this movie, even though like I wouldn't necessarily say that there was any like super big twists in this movie. I don't really think it needed it.
Was it one of those things where you thought you were expecting the worst, and the worst did happen, but they did it right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I had mentioned in the last episode we were talking about like the plot for Detective Pikachu, and like the villain stuff really kicks off in the last like 10-15 minutes. Zarude does a great job being like, we meet our characters, they get a little bit of exposition, and then like the villain kicks off and does their thing like right at like the middle point of the film. So then the latter half is like, we gotta get together, solve this, and there's a whole thing with Zarude talking to the wild Pokemon, and you know how they feel about the Zarude as a race or a species, whatever you want to classify it as, and how they then resolve the issue. I'm like, this is great. This is good.
See,
nothing's like shoehorned into
Those
fish.
scenes of Coco and Zarude, like pop-up Zarude, communicating was so good.
Yeah.
Very well done without having to actually, portray it. It was so beautiful.
Which one of my absolute favorite things of the movie is that whole beginning sequence of the montage of baby. Because like I was like, oh, Zarude is becoming a father. Like when he was like rocking him to sleep, and then he goes to sleep, wakes up, and then he's just holding a Salandit, and just everything's on fire. Like it was so adorable.
One of the best things about this movie is that it is obvious who the bad guy is. The minute you see him, you're like, oh, okay. He is dressed completely different than every other researcher. His hair's weird. He's got the glasses. He's a Pokemon bad guy. So like, you're like, okay. But it does that weird thing where you're like, oh, he's like a gray area bad guy. Like he's trying to advance humanity and he needs this water to do it. And then slowly it's like, no, he's just really fucking good at hiding it. Yeah. And like progressively it gets easier and easier to just dislike this man.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, you go, Dante.
This particular villain plays off of a lot of kind of similar villains that we've seen in past movies, and I think this one's actually pulled off perfectively. Yeah. I think of people don't probably agree with me with this, but I think of Zero, and I think of my issues with Zero as a character, and the Mewtwo returns with similar situation of healing water, and they try to get it. I'm not sure if there's a villain in there. Can't quite recall anymore.
It'll be Black Tulip and.
But like, there's a lot of things that kind of are similar in terms of like, so it's nothing necessarily new, but this movie just pulls it off so so fantastically. I can't freaking gush about the movie enough. Like the movie
it's one of those
is
examples that we were like a couple moments ago. I was complaining that there's a movie that was very close to another one, and I said that's what hurt it for me. This movie takes elements from every other fucking movie,
but does it all right.
But does it better. Yeah. It's like, you know when I always say that Black Clover is like every shonen put together for better? That's what this movie is. It's all the other movies, cliches, because like the water thing is such a cliche in the movies, the anime, the manga, even the games themselves sometimes. So it's one of those things where like we've seen this subplot before, but it's well executed here.
And this might be a Pokemon in translation thing. I love that they don't baby us. Like when you see visions of the tree, you're like, oh no, it's like it's withering. Like as the movie goes on, they're not like the tree is dying. It's dying.
Okay, I'll give a benefit of the doubt. This is the Japanese one. I'm hoping the English one doesn't backpedal on that.
In English. I noticed that the English babies a lot because they have to spell it out for.
They think we're idiots.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm 26.
They also probably think we're like 10 and under. But, but yeah, like when he showed up to the tree and he's just like sitting there staring at it, and like they finally showed the shot of it, I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look good. Like, and I appreciate that. I appreciate being able to watch it and be like, damn, Like I like to be able to draw conclusions that like Dante was saying. I like to be able to draw conclusions and then be right about it.
Context clues.
Yes, yes. Also, like when I saw Coco like first freak out in the fucking hospital room, I was like, oh damn, he's gonna hurt somebody.
That's a culture shock right there.
Yeah, I was like, yo, he's about to like Encino Man just like break somebody's jaw.
I thought they were gonna recreate Captain America waking up after being frozen.
Yeah, but they did such a good like the Dreadnought freaking out and him being like, fuck, calm down, and then Ash being like, Dreadnought loose.
Dude, I'm just saying,
And he
got
fucking-
that Dreadnought,
Yeah,
dude.
he fucking headlocks that Dreadnought, and I was like, damn.
I always
that thing
forget until I see
wrecked my
Dreadnought in the
team.
anime that he does that thing with his neck.
Yeah.
Because the game doesn't really do that.
Right.
He's just like,
But like in Journeys, when you see Dreadnought, and he like snaps into the stadium during a Dynamax fight, and he's just like, in my head, and like reaches down, I'm like, you do that,
Because
yeah.
nobody uses his signature move. It's Lockjaw.
Yeah.
And nobody uses that.
I just never had Dreadnought on my team. I caught him like, you're cool.
I'm very positive it's a dark type move.
It's actually a normal type move,
Is it
weirdly
normal?
enough.
Yeah, nobody's using
types.
it. It's good because it doesn't let you switch out, but
Yeah.
you're not going to use some of the Dreadnought.
What, were you saying something earlier, Chris?
oh yeah.
Or-
So what they were saying about the professor being like obviously the villain. Yeah. So like as soon as like there's like that moment where he was like, oh, you're the son of these two. I'm like, he's the fucking bad guy. He's gonna use the kid, and he's gonna like, and then that's when I was like, okay, Tarzan. All right, let's go.
Clayton.
Yeah, he 100% James Cameron avatared that shit, where he's just like, we need you to do this because it's better for mankind, but we want to do it gently. And then he used him as a way to insert himself into the
And then
thing
I'm
to drain the
gonna
resources.
kill the monkey.
Especially when he was doing the manipulative bit
Yeah.
of the, you want to complete your parents' dreams, don't you? Like, it's like,
could be
this
like,
kid
I
had
don't
no
know what
idea he
the fuck
had
you're saying.
parents.
Did you
He
call
thought he
me
was
Al?
zarude.
I'm not.
I thought it was a exclamation point at first. I'm like, this fucker's name is Ow. I like Coco better.
Yeah,
I thought it was AI for a moment.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
And I did want to just get it out of the way. There was one part of the movie that drew a reaction out of me that was just like confusion. When the fuck did Ash meet his dad?
Yeah.
That was okay. So I always understood it that Ash does, like, I think it's like we don't know who Ash's dad is, but he does, right? And he's just like, my dad's not here, just my mom. But I did like that a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
The moment of Ash being like, we're gonna throw out the Ash doesn't know his dad, anime father leaves right away, it's just
Right.
mom. And Ash is like, so Coco, I know you and your dad are beefing, but like, my dad told me this thing once and it made me a better person. I'm like, wow, we made the dad important in one movie over like 25 years. This is pretty cool.
I said at that exact moment, I was like, who? Mr. Mine? He talked to you?
Mine, Mr. Mine!
Yeah, he has hand on his mom's thigh.
Now, son.
Imagine Mr. Mine just pulls out a thing of wine like,
He's like,
all right, Ash,
Mr. Wine.
you're gonna be 11 next year.
It'd be funny. So funny if like while his mom was in the room, he was like, mine. Now, son. We can have a conversation.
I mean, it could work exactly like how Zarude talks to Coco. I mean,
So yeah, I want to talk about that.
I
right?
love it.
So going through these other movies, we've talked about like talking Pokemon, doing it too much, whatever. So the way this movie does it is the Zarude don't talk as much as they're speaking among each other.
We hear what they mean.
Yes, so they translate it into English while in universe they're speaking as Zarude.
Yeah.
Coco can speak to Pokemon, period, so he's speaking Zarude as well. And then when they get to meeting Ash, it's Coco talks to Pikachu. Pikachu talks to Ash, kinda, and he's like, I know my buddy. And then Ash talks to Pikachu, who talks to Coco, because Coco doesn't speak English. But
Until he
it's
learns,
all
like, 8
portrayed.
words.
Yeah. But yeah, Zarude doesn't just talk like other Pokemon are force-fed to, which I think is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
No, I think that the way that was executed was very well done because you can use more physical like movements and like not like kind of like roars and stuff like that to show like intent and that kind of stuff. And I think that they killed it. I would love to see more stuff like this. I'm okay if the next 3 movies don't have a talking legendary.
Yeah.
If they did more stuff like this.
Just make it about Coco, so they
I-
don't have to talk.
interesting point as we get to the end of the movie. I got a little worried when they had Zarude talk.
Okay.
So I was just like, oh, okay. Well, maybe it's not a telepathy thing. It's actual talking. There's a particular scene in here that I think is fantastic for this entire setup, and my mind just went, oh, yeah, okay, that's great how they did it. Is when Ash, Zarude, Coco, and Pikachu are kind of all there, and then there's a moment where we see Coco and Zarude talking, but we don't understand them, and
Yes.
they're going Zaru.
I love that.
And I was like, oh, okay, so he actually isn't talking. Like that was my moment of disbelief where it was just like, oh, it snapped right into place.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then throughout that point, once they showed us that, they didn't need to show us that again because you already made that
understood how it
connection.
worked.
So it was very smart how they did that.
I think I noticed it when he woke up and he was like panicking, so he would be like, Zada, Zada, like he would like kind of
Yeah,
like whisper
in
to
the
himself.
Pokemon Center,
Yeah. And like at first I was like, he's either not able to speak English or he's just making panic noises and I'm hearing what I want to hear.
Yeah,
and
because
then
Japanese, it might,
yeah, and then later on, like you said, it just kind of clicked, and I was like, "Yep, okay, cool, love that so much."
Let's let English make him talk.
Huh.
Hello guys, it's me.
This is my monkey dad.
Dada! I another thing I really liked, and we're kind of jumping around. So, for context, I have like some notes, but really,
Okay.
so far I've watched them all in English, so I'm able to type and listen at the same time. Having watched this one subbed, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just engulf this movie as much as I can, and we'll talk about it just collectively.
I could
So I'm
like
kinda-
5-minute summary it if you want.
Yeah, well, I'm just more or less just jumping around rather than being like, let's go down the list.
I think the Coco looks phenomenal. Like the art,
Yeah.
hair,
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
They did it. They knocked it right out of the park with this character.
Another thing I really love is we complain about it in Power of Us being like Lugia hinges on this movie. He's the reason we succeed at the end of this film.
Yeah.
And then they introduce like, hey, the shiny Celebi like shows up when things are going right or whatever the case is, and like they show that Celebi is a sign rather than a solution. So at the end, then when we see Celebi after Zarude and Coco, of like, hey, we figured out who we are, what we're doing, and like, you know, communities fixed, trees fixed, everything else. Like it felt so rewarding to be like, all right, cool, Celebi's here, but like Celebi didn't save the day. Celebi was like, you did it, kids, good job.
Which is why I like the Elder Zeus when he was like, so Celebi hasn't been around
Since you and Coco.
since you and Coco have been doing this. We know that, you know, when it comes to times where everything's going good, that's a sign.
Yeah.
And he was like, figure it out.
This makes fourth movie Celebi makes an appearance. So I'm just saying they clearly love Celebi when
Yeah.
it comes to conceptualizing movies.
Oh, which I also brought up. Celebi just is casually fucking timelines. Just casually,
Yeah.
because it always takes something for the future and brings it back to the
Brings
past
an
and be
egg.
like, hey, it's
This is also the first time that it is confirmed, because before this, there's a popular theory online that all the Celebes were the same ones. They're just traveling. So the theory is there's one
Variants.
Celebi, and then they're all traveling through time. But because we saw the shiny one, because we saw the, it's just RCS with two batons.
Stop fucking shit up.
We saw a shiny one, which does show that there is more than one Celebi. Because before this, the popular theory is that it was one.
Yeah.
You look like you had something to say about
I
that.
wasn't. Yeah. So they did that. They explained that like Celebi goes and leaves things, take things, but when it showed up at the end, it didn't do any of that. So I'm wondering if that lore was.
Maybe it's a hint that he left an egg because he does fly. He waits for the Zarude. The Zarude sees him and then he flies towards the tree.
Yeah.
So my thought was like, oh, he left something there for Data Zarude.
Yeah.
Or
And
it could
Here's
be a reference to a future film, since
Yeah.
these movies are connected.
Zarude 2, Electric Boogaloo.
here's the whole reason why I think that was brought up, and they kind of briefly touch upon it, and they do it twice. They do it when they introduce Celebi doing that, and then they bring it up one more time as well. I don't think that was meant to be something kind of at the end of the movie. I think that's something that Zarude is a byproduct of what Celebi did. That particular Zarude in the movie.
Okay.
Because he comes back from the past, he doesn't know who his parents are, and the elders bring that up briefly.
Right.
He's like, Celebi left
An egg.
you or an egg,
Yeah.
something of that nature.
Yeah.
Um,
Because that's how he explains it to Coco. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have parents. You didn't have parents, and I figured I can make you better because of it. And
Yeah.
I was kind of right, kind of wrong. Yeah.
So how I took it is that the whole reason that story was told was to give kind of a reason to why Zarude doesn't have a parent.
Yeah.
Is because Zarude was brought back by Celebi.
Do you want to know the smallest thing that made me freak the fuck out and I got super excited for?
Kramer and eating Pikachu.
No. Pecha berries have pits.
Yeah.
The minute I saw a Pecha berry pit, I was like, yo! I've never seen that before!
It segued to the first manly tier when they were doing the whole thing where they were tossing the berry back and forth. And they're like, yes, plant this at the house. I was like, oh, no.
But yeah, the Cramorant dude, great comedy. I loved him as comedy versus Team Rocket, even though Team Rocket was like comedic side plot.
Yeah.
I loved the Cramorant so much.
Which, I mean, I'm just saying, Pikachu.
Dude.
I'm hoping Ash catches a Cramorant in the anime. He doesn't have a water type right now.
And then he can duo
And
teams.
he has these badass Pokemon, and I'm like, Cramorant feels
Get
right.
the movie, bitch.
After
You got
having-
Dracovish though, right?
Oh, you're right.
Oh no!
Never mind, that's not gonna happen.
Sorry, no Cramorant.
I just like to imagine
Did he
him
have a flying type?
double
Yeah, he has
battling,
Dragonite.
and Cramorant eats the Pikachu and shoots it as like the team attack.
That looks like a Team Rocket Pokemon too.
It
It
does.
does, so when they show that in the trailer, because there's the like the part where they break out of the car and like Pikachu, they show that clip of them like holding Kramer and him freaking out, being like, "Whoa," and looks at the camera. And I thought that was like, oh, in the anime, Team Rocket must have got a Cramorant. I didn't know it was a
Which
movie.
is very on brand. Like that
Yeah,
looks
dude.
like a James Pokemon.
Yeah.
He does
I-
attack James. He
Yeah.
bites
Yeah,
his head,
that's
yeah.
right. Again, I was like,
Yeah.
is this gonna be the first one? Like, James gets Cramorant, and this is canon. Like, I don't think it did or was or will, but
This is another situation where I personally enjoy Team Rocket, and they amount to something in this movie.
yeah.
They end up being the reason the bad guy's caught.
Yeah, which is great. So, this is fantastic.
Oh man, good flick. Let me think.
So
What
good,
else is
dude.
here?
I also looked at the IMDb score of this movie, 8.1 out of 10.
Not bad.
So like,
So here's
pretty
Probably a
good.
little high.
Bring IMDb. So here's my fear with this movie. I think this movie's really good. I think COVID fucked this movie up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now, Gen 4 movie is the highest, or the Darkrai movie is it's the most successful Pokemon movie, not counting the original 3 because they were put together.
Yeah.
Like the ratings or not the ratings, the money. Gen 4 made over 4 million, or way higher than that. Sorry, I can't remember the. If you go and you
5
check-
million.
But basically, the Darkrai movie was the most successful movie out of all of them, money-wise. And all the other movies have fell short. And I feel like there's a couple of good movies we had.
Yeah.
This movie I generally believe this movie could have been in Darkrai. But because of COVID, it was affected because a lot of people didn't go to the theater when it came out. It was a mess because this came out last
Only
year.
released in Japan.
Yeah, and
we
Japan's
still don't
really,
have a translation of this.
and Japan's really bad with COVID right now. They don't really get vaccines over there, so they're just hoping that it goes away, and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
I think that
You're
affected the
getting one of those
movie.
fat checker bars at the bottom of your video. It's gonna be like, Japan does get vaccines.
They got it. I'm voting vaccine.
It's about the 30-minute one, yeah.
And then you have the whole like, this movie should have been translated by now. If I'm being
Yeah.
honest, usually.
Well, I mean, when we started, we were on like episode 4. I'm like, we got right now Zarude's only in Japanese, and you're like, yeah, it should be like July. They'll announce it, and
Yeah.
it's the end of August. So
Yeah, at this point we're getting 2 new games out now, so usually they're pretty good with the release of these things. I just think COVID messed it up, and because of that, sales-wise, it's just not going to do good.
Yeah.
I think that once it goes to like a streaming service, but then they don't make that much money.
right.
They actually don't.
I think
make
more
money
people
at
will
all.
see it and understand, like, oh wow, this is a good movie.
Yeah.
But
I think this is going to be like those direct-to-DVD movies that were really good, but the previous movie messed it up.
it's gonna get shafted because that can be like direct to DVD must be bad.
Yeah. And then it might happen to if they whatever the next Pokemon
I'd be
movie
so
is.
mad if that happens, dude.
The next Pokemon movie I think will go direct to DVD because
I buy the Blu-ray.
yeah, because that's one.
I'll buy it to support it.
Dude,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
I know once I see that DVD on the shelf.
Also,
I'll buy it.
I've
I
already
don't know if
spent
you guys
enough money
knew
on
this,
the
but
plane
in the
ticket,
Japanese
so.
release, they give you a card,
Oh.
and it was Coco.
Oh.
It's the first human that's an actual playable card in the game.
So is he just
Aggressive.
Zarude? Oh, he's the grass.
No,
okay.
it's Coco.
Yeah, I know it's okay. I didn't know if
I
he
mean,
was
he
like
is a Pokemon.
a variant. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that is his whole thing at the end. He's like, I'm both.
Yeah, it
I'm
was really cool. I
both
saw
with
that
an
and I was like, I'm both.
That's
I was
my Pokemon name.
I saw that and I was like, I want it. So I looked it up online and I was like, I don't need it. 'Cause people are selling it for like over $100. because they're on limited run because of the theater shutting down.
Yeah. You know, America, what's ours? Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Dude, knowing America, we'll probably get like.
We'll probably just get a Zarude card.
We'll get Prime Rack.
A basic print Zarude card, no holiday.
We'll get one called like Burn Down the House, and it's just him holding the Salanded.
It's the land episode.
But
Just
yeah, I mean, basic plot at this point was just Coco, kid lost in the jungle, raised by Zarude. But Zarude as a group or a pack. What do you call gorillas?
They're called. I think they're packed.
A pack of gorillas.
Vineyard.
A vineyard of gorillas. It's a group of Zarude that live in this sacred tree. It's like, this is Zarude area, no one comes in here. And then our Zarude, Data Zarude, is like, hey, I got this baby, I gotta raise it because it's alone. And they're like, oh no, you can't bring that here. That's not Zarude, that go away. So that he gets kicked.
Yeah.
A troop?
A troop.
Troop of
That doesn't
gorillas.
sound real. I just imagine while playing trumpets and shit, but.
Troops, yeah. Troops tend to be made.
But yeah, so then Zarude leaves with Coco, raises it, kid becomes like 10, meets Ash, is like, oh. He has like moments where he's like, I don't look like you and I can't do the things you do, so why not? Am I just not old enough yet?
Which I love how they brought Ash into this, because like normally like every time I see Ash, like I'm looking at how is he related to the plot, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, he actually saved this kid's fucking life. Okay,
He wants to go to the jungle.
Because like I like that bit where it was they were trying to catch Cramorant, and then seeing Ash kind of like fail at that, and then it's like, okay, now that we've established Ash is in the jungle, here's Coco.
Can we talk about the sound design when he hits that fucking pipe and it's just like.
Oh.
When I heard that, I was like, oh shit!
So,
And then it was like,
He's
I'm
dead.
100% sure this is the first time that Ash has just said, I don't feel like catching some Pokemon. Because
Yeah.
usually the Pokemon come to him.
Too bad he didn't catch any.
Yeah, he didn't catch any.
oh,
We are still at the
Pikachu's-
point where like basically have decided Ash only has Pikachu. We don't
Yeah.
know in this continuity what else he has.
So I always thought the last couple movies have come out during the transition,
Yeah.
which is part of why. Because the next season he starts it with just Pikachu, and then
Yeah.
he gets like these broken ass.
Stop
Can we,
fucking doing
can we
that.
talk about Pikachu's Explorer hat and Whalmer canteen?
It's so
I
good.
loved it. It's so good.
I want a distribution of that
And if
Pikachu.
you want to go by a chimpanzee, they're called a community. A community
I
of
like it better.
chimpanzees.
Community of Zarude. I like that a
A
little bit.
murder of crows.
A murder of
Do we have a
Zarude.
chimp Pokemon?
I
Chimps
a
don't have
chimp.
tails.
Chimp,
Chimchar?
wouldn't they just? Yeah, I was about to say, wouldn't that just be Chimchar?
Oh, by the time he evolves, he's not a
He's an ape.
champ anymore.
I mean, Infernape has a tail, but technically shouldn't be an ape. Right?
Was a chimp to a monkey to an ape. Yeah,
He
that's
actually
what
becomes he actually becomes a bonobo, which is their chimpanzees with tails. Which is kind of weird.
Zarude is just a
I think
spider
it's a
monkey.
bonobo. Let me look it up.
I kept thinking of Spider-Man every time I was like,
That was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah,
I like how you have the like the leaves like wrapped around and
Yeah.
like the utilization, and I like how the kid's like, when am I gonna be able to do that? And he's just like,
use your prosthetics. son.
yeah,
you
he's
already
just
can, son.
like,
You'll get there once your Zarude ready.
You're great the way you are.
Speaking of which, so the end with Coco, not like the end where he chooses ultimate journey, but the way he resolves the issue of Data Zarude being hurt, I thought normally that's something I'm like, that's stupid, but human knew what Pokemon do.
So the reason I like it is because when he talks to Zarude and he's like, "How did you do that?" He's like, "What move was that?" And he goes, "It's just something that only a couple of people can do. You just kind of call out to the
Yeah.
jungle and make a wish."
Yeah.
So I took that as the jungle is responding in
Yeah.
some way, not the kid is using a
Exactly.
Pokemon move.
Which is why I was like, normally I'd hate that, but I'm like, you know what?
In the
saved
English
it.
translation,
You
it's gonna
saved
be
it.
like, "Oh, that
I'd be
was
like-
Solar Beam." Like it's gonna be something stupid.
I mean,
That was Solar Vine. I just
take
used
the
Solar Beam and
power of
Vine
the
Whip at the same
jungle
time.
and force it through you.
Or Synthesis Vine or something
technically
stupid.
speaking, it's jungle healing, but
Is that what the attack is?
that's what
Okay.
the actual attack is
Cool.
called. But I was willing
Yes,
to
right.
accept this spell of the unknown bullshit.
Does he have two moves? I feel
Everybody
like he has
gets
two
one.
moves.
I have no clue.
I know he has the healing move, and I feel like
You gave it to me. I put it in the PC. I don't until I saw this movie. I was like,
I
got
think
to-
I think it might just be jungle healing, which is weird because it looks like it should be an attacker.
The
Pokemon,
vine
but it has a
moves
support.
does not look like Vine Whip. It looks
Yeah.
deadly.
Friends of Plant.
Yeah.
But that's at like
Vine
1%.
Vine fist.
You wait till it gets to 5%. Oh, these fuckers are dead.
When you see
over here.
grown up Coco throwing hands with the Zarude on top of a tree, I was like, homie, you're not a Pokemon. You
So
can't
after
do
this, Coco needs to do UFC because he has the strength. He grew up with these apes. He can take them down.
He stopped a Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Like
Tarzan
a
said,
charging
Tarzan needs to
Dreadnought.
go do UFC. He was raised by gorillas. He can take them down. He fought Korchak.
Yeah.
I feel like he can.
So jungle healing is the only one,
I feel like he had two.
but apparently
Okay.
he doesn't get it to level 90.
Ah, good for him.
Good for him.
That's nuts.
You get him with the move on distribution.
Back with Coco, so when they go to town and Ash get to town to fix him, and then Ash is like, I'll show you how to be a human. Come on, bud. I love that montage of like he's getting clothes, he finds ice cream, he likes it. But I think the most important part was when they're trying to do the fireworks, but all the failings are like, get the fuck away, and they're not sure like why.
And homie was just sleeping.
Yeah, Coco's just like, yeah, I got it. And they're like, yo, kid who can't talk, oh, he must be stupid. Get away from that. And he's like, hold on, we got this. And he's like, Satoshi, hold rope. And he's like, he just sees the
way
little
he
ball down
fucking
there.
he said, now she's just like, what do you want me to do? Dive in.
Yeah.
And then like I just love like as Ash is pulling, they're like, come on guys, pull the rope. There's a kid at the end of this.
It's great because then right after that they say the failings, fireworks go off, and
Good usage of phalanx. But
yeah, yep. But then as like they start to go off, Coco's like shit, explosions. And as he's like hiding behind Ash, like the Wooloo's just like, buddy.
oh my god, dude. When Wooloo and Double showed up in the mayor, like I love that the mayor has no context other than old man who likes sheep.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. And then Coco's just like that I'm gonna play with the dog at the party guy.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to him and he's like rubbing his head and then he just like boom and he's like ah and the Double's just like bitch. Like he's like fucking try it again. Dude, I loved it. So good. There's a part in the background where you see two trainers trading. Like you see them like connect these devices, and they're both like, yeah.
Did you see the snap reference?
Yeah, so Dante even that. So I hadn't noticed it. Dante mentioned it before we started recording today. So I think towards the beginning, or is it during this montage?
It
or?
might. I think it's somewhere around this montage,
Okay.
maybe even before the failings, because it's sunset.
So Todd, you can see an older Todd. Was Todd ever in that?
Todd, original like.
It's true.
Because I always confused Todd and.
He was like, Todd.
So it's Todd. I always confused Todd and Tracy. Todd was in the anime.
Todd, yes, in Indigo League, Todd was there. He showed up for I think it was like an arc. I think it was when they do that bit of like the Jigglypuff from above. They show,
That wasn't Todd.
John just wants to move on.
I just want to have serious fucking conversations.
Yeah, Todd is in the anime. He's in, I think for like a 10 episode like period or so. He's just like, I take pictures of Pokemon, and then Todd was just like, you exist in Snap. That's where you belong.
That's where I saw him first before I saw him in the anime. Because in theory, like seeing those two characters, it's like, are we gonna see an older Todd?
Yeah.
That'll be pretty neat.
Because unfortunately, I don't think we saw him in the movie, but
No.
we saw it's the professor's assistant and the other kid that
The
comes
rival.
along. Yeah, the rival for you as the photographer. They're taking pictures of the town and stuff, which Dante showed the picture. Like, I saw them exist, but didn't like look at them and be like, oh, they're the ones from New Snap.
It's a strange thing to think for me because when was this
drop-
movie released?
It's 20.
Recent.
It was
19?
Was it last year? End of last year
Coco?
or this year?
Coco was released last year.
Okay.
2020? Wow.
Like those characters wouldn't have been relevant, and I don't think that their designs would have been out for us to see. So it's kind of strange for them to have a cameo because no one would have noticed it until like now.
Well, I've seen sometimes where they reuse assets for trainers. Like sometimes they'll have like.
Not to say that designs didn't exist, but
But I've seen them before where they'll use like a background character and then like, because you can see Trip in like a previous season of Pokemon where they grab him and then they made him into Ash's rival.
From Strip.
Gen 5 rival.
Okay.
The Snivy that kicked the shit out of
He's
Pikachu.
just Pokemon Snap Paul.
He's a worse
Okay.
Paul. He's pretty shitty. Like Paul's like, I'm an asshole because I'm better than you. Trip's like, I'm a little bitch, you suck. I hate
He takes
Trip.
pictures of Pokemon for some reason.
Oh.
Even though they never did Pokemon Snap 2 or anything.
So Zarude, Secret of the Jungle was December 2020 is when it released in Japan.
Wow.
There's no context for this.
Wow,
it
that's
just
super recent.
It just says box office. It says 2.02 billion JPY. I don't know what that converts to in US dollars.
200,000.
That's not on.
2
I'll
point?
do the
No.
conversion.
Add another couple zeros and you have it, essentially.
Or you take away.
Or you take away
Yeah,
zeros.
take away 2 zeros. How much was it? 2 billion?
Yeah, 2.02 billion.
So that's 20 million.
To make
20 million.
That's how much it made.
That's how much it made at the box office.
Wow.
In
not bad.
Japan.
Pretty
Yeah.
good,
It's
yeah.
not bad just for a Japan release.
Everyone wanted that Zarude card, dog.
That's probably everybody risked.
It's definitely not bad considering that was still during COVID.
Yeah.
Everybody risked.
Well, you know, Japan has to get vaccines. So.
So that's actually. Let me find. I have somewhere here where all the movies, like how much the
Yeah.
movies made.
Yeah, if you have, I'd love to see what other info, because that's just right off Google's like front page and everything.
I
But
think I lost a year of my life. I'm slightly hurting you a little bit.
but yeah, so once they find the lab and Zarude kind of explains like, hey, this is where I found you here. This is like where I found this picture. I'm assuming these are your parents. You don't think you're Zarude. I'm not gonna stop you. Do what you need to do. And they go to the lab that Ashton met earlier, movie, super relevant, whatever. But they're like, hey, we got this kid. You know anything? They're like, oh my God, your parents. Yeah, they're dead. But you got knowledge we could use, so that'd be cool. And Coco's like, nah, I'm good. Bye.
Give me your ring bead.
Yeah. But yeah, homie's just like, nah, I can't go with that. I gotta get it. So he takes his big avatar robot and they just start knocking down trees and shit. The Zarude try to fight back. They can't do it. They use the energy of everybody in the jungle. Data Zarude comes back. Coco helps fight. There's a tracker and stuff along the
Someone
way.
did the third worst.
What's that?
It did the third worst in box office.
Well, the trap.
Did it? Oh, fuck.
So, do you want to finish your thought? That
Yeah, so yeah, they end up fighting these machines, which are like, we're gonna blow up the tree, take the water from it, so we have the power to. Initially, it starts as like, kind of like the dude from YouTube Returns, like, I want to study the water so I can help make medicine. And so homie's just like, we had information. Your parents told me to fuck off because of the Zarude, and I said fuck them, so I ran them off the fucking road and then left you down the river. And now I have their information, but it's locked behind the ring on your fucking necklace, so give it to me. And the guy gets really angry and starts trying to kill people.
So,
Dane.
this movie did here it shows 2.4.
Okay. Billion?
And the movie that did this is the third worst.
Make sure to-
Volcanion did 2.1.
Okay.
Probably because it went straight to DVD.
Growler.
And then you have,
That makes me think it's gonna be straight DVD. That's sad.
yeah, that's what happens when the previous movie does really bad.
Sorry, Zarude. Gets down the list for that.
And then you have,
We all know the truth.
No English release. That's at least like a 13 on
and
the
the
list.
Anti Cocoon of Destruction.
That's the lowest one?
Those are the lowest 3 films. The black and white, it's weird because they
Accumulates.
so they have a little asterisk that tells you like, so basically together they made
I feel like-
4.3, but that, yeah, I couldn't, in the US it only made, but it can't be real.
I feel it's fair to kind of put those two together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, so in the US it made 5 million, which is not a lot for a film.
Yeah.
But Kieran did
Which one was
worse.
that? It was.
Kieran barely broke 1 million.
Damn.
And the highest movie is obviously the first 3, which are put together at.
Yeah. Well, I think
284.
unfortunately these were all also part of like this movie released in like 100 theaters across the U.S. for like 2 days, and there's one showing a day.
Right.
And like when you get those, it's almost doomed to fail. At that point, I'd rather them just put it straight on Cartoon Network and play
here
it
it
like
is.
for 2 months. Every
The
day.
first movie was 7.6 billion, but it's not release week. They're just counting
Yeah.
in general, which is why the first 3 don't count. But the second movie did 2.4, and you have 4.8, and then the highest one after those, it's the Dark Ride, which is 6.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Coco.
But this movie, yeah, like it
movie-
sucks because like now this movie was so good for it too, and I think it was bad timing of release.
100%.
And then not getting a translation. This is way too far. Usually, it used to be a whole year, but now because of how good we got, it's just a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what this looks like, especially if either that means we get Zarude soon-ish, and then we don't get another movie for a while, or they'll be like right on top of each
I
other.
would prefer that one.
To get Zarude another movie, yeah.
I imagine they're working on the next movie already.
Yeah.
They have to be.
Yeah, because
Unless they just don't want to.
because the anime, usually the anime stops and takes a break, and then they do a movie, and when the anime comes back, not for a new gen, just at whatever Ash's story is, they usually take a break. Ash literally just has 5 Pokemon, he's just missing 1. So once he catches that 6 Pokemon, they usually go on break. They usually do something big. They go on break for 5 weeks, and then the movie gets announced, show comes back, and then they can. The whole point of the movie is to show Ash's team in the movie. So.
Okay.
Can I briefly bring up the fact that I love Japanese Meowth?
Yeah, go ahead. You can briefly bring that
Okay,
up.
I absolutely love the voice actor or
Yeah.
actress doing what they're doing because I'm not sure if it's actually an effect that they're putting on their voice, but it sounds like a low growl / purr, and it was mind-boggling to me because I was
Yeah,
like,
and Japanese Meowth does the meow, like
Yeah.
the little cat.
I was gonna say, that wasn't something that bothered me, it was something I noticed. I'm like, okay.
So he does that all the time, and in English they don't do that.
They
But I
just
like.
made him from Brooklyn.
What's it?
Hey,
They
it's
just
me.
made him
Meow.
from Brooklyn.
it's
He's
not
just
that
Joey
I still
But I
like
like-
our version of Meowth. It's
Yeah.
just really cool hearing that sound come from Meowth.
But I like the voice actor for. I don't know who does the voice actor in
sing.
English for Meowth.
Just, I don't know the name, I don't know.
But I like it a lot. And when they made their changes to the actors, whoever they got for Meowth, it sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's still the one voice that to me has stayed consistent. Because like when they changed Team Rocket, you could tell. But
Yeah.
Meowth has always felt like the same.
Well, we
person.
all could
good
tell
man.
with whatever movie what movie was that?
It's like the 4th or 5th movie.
Was that Darkrai or no? It was
No,
Rangers.
that was before Dark.
It was Rangers.
Where Team Rocket sounded funny, I think, yeah.
There's a whole cast.
Which we
Yeah.
have a new entry.
Wait,
and
so what's the
Jesse
movie with the
needs
boss?
to calm down.
Yeah.
Science says Jesse is.
Sleeveless Jesse.
This is
just
very
getting a little
nice.
different.
Yeah.
Sleeveless Jesse.
3D Jesse, just.
Shoulders.
Speaking of which, this week we're starting a new list called Which Jesse is Bessie?
Whoa.
Have you seen the episode where
I was
her
not
hair gets
prepped.
wet and it comes down?
What's that?
Have you seen the episode where
Yeah.
Jesse's hair gets wet and it goes
Yeah.
down? And people keep calling her Mommy Jessie.
I saw there's someone on TikTok who got like the Jesse wig, and it's filled with styrofoam and hairspray and stuff, and like it does the big curl, goes down to the back of her knees. Like it looks really cool. And she's like, my neck hurts. This really hurts. And she has to go at like a 45-degree angle, so instead of directly to the right or back, it's like going out to the back left, and she's just kind of like, yeah, I don't feel great.
I saw someone on TikTok attempt to make the wig and it snapped when they went to grab it, and she just looks at the camera like, and it just ends.
I'm done. Any other like big important things we didn't like?
Zarude almost dies trying to save Coco.
Yeah.
Which
Coco
second time cried
Yeah.
because that was
Yeah.
super impactful.
uses jungle healing. Pikachu and Papa Zarude, after healing, take down the big avatar machine.
Yeah,
Guy
that
tries
was
to
really cool.
book it and kill himself by jumping off into the river, and homie says, "No, that's too good for you." And
Yeah, I was
hangs
gonna
him
say,
from
was
a
that his
tree.
goal? Was it to kill himself?
It was
I assume
either
he
that or to get
washed
away.
I
away.
think it was to get away initially.
Yeah.
And then it became like a desperate chance. To
That's
get
some
away,
rough
so
water.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah. it's
But homie's like, "No," and he uses his fake vines to wrap him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not-
and-
dislocates his shoulder, but otherwise.
Oh. And then they
well, yeah,
rebuild
that's
the
wrong.
forest with Zarude's like leaf.
Yeah,
I
I love when they do that. They just take a piece of the vine and they all do
crumble
it together.
Yeah.
Circle of life.
Mufasa came out like,
Yeah.
I wasn't dead.
They brought me back, jungle healing.
So this movie shows that they can copy Disney.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
sense. So we can get a Chinks or Pyro movie.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as like exact same thing, and we have all the Pokemon to match.
What if they did Lion King with Zacian and Zamazenta?
You
where
just see a
Zamazenta's
watchdog
scar.
just pop up.
It's a Watchhog. You have a Piloswine, and then you have a little. What's it? Let Lead? No.
Litleo?
Yeah, it says Let Leo.
Yeah.
Um,
Great.
Smart, just make
yeah, they
it
heal the
Chinks.
forest.
Yep, Neil Forest.
And
everyone's
then,
like, oh, start digging, we got a plant.
Yeah, then Coco's like going to say goodbye to Ash, and then like on the way back, he's like, Papa, where's Papa? Or vice.
Dada.
Yeah, Dada. And then he goes and finds him, and he's like, they're letting us back into the pack. I think they do call him a pack. He's like, they're letting us back, or tribe. I don't remember. But
Letting
he's
us
like,
back in the
Yeah,
tribe.
he's like, they're letting us back in, and he's like, that's great. But I could be the bridge between Pokemon and humans. I want to go have my journey. And he's like, do you know what you're saying? And he's like, I don't care. He's like, you're a Zarude.
Yeah.
And he's like, because I'm a Zarude, that's what makes it a good idea.
So I love this, and I'm gonna be the one to make the anime reference. This was a very Sanji moment of him leaving the restaurant. Of like, hey, it's.
I really thought he was going to mention a different song.
Yeah.
How are you there already?
Okay, all right. I gotta keep going. Just finish Marineford, so I'll figure it out.
He's at times.
Yes.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
But no, right when like Sanji's like, all right, cool, we saved the day, everything's good, but I gotta stay. Well, it's different. He doesn't want to stay here. But Zarude's like, fine, if you're gonna fucking go. Just don't talk to me about it. And then on his way out, he's like, all right, cool, we gotta do the thing. We got him. We got him. He's going where he needs to be.
Third time.
So when he started talking to everybody else, I was like, "Hey, Chris, you ready to cry again?" Like I was like, "It's gonna happen, dog. This part's sad."
Dude, the tears
Right
are
after
already starting.
Zarude ate his own foot because he gave all the food to Sanji.
So yeah, homie's running up to catch up to Ash to tell him he's going on a journey in his limited words, which is Coco, gonna go, which is adorable. He trips, spills his bag, and he's like gathering the berries, and Ash is like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, I didn't pack these, but he says it in like the Zarude voice because he can't, isn't know the words in English.
Cute.
And then then it fucking turns around and the fucking because they're trying to make
fireworks.
fireworks
Out of the tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
and the water comes like all the fucking pretty ass pink water comes down and like he starts crying and then he rebundles up his bag and fucking books
He
it
goes
and
his
does
way,
this
Ash
cool
goes
ass
his.
parkour. Then Ash goes
So,
a different way.
just
I'd
say-
love to see Coco get to the city and be
gonna
like, I
act-
can't park on trees anymore.
There was only one other thing that we didn't touch on, and that was the Elder coming to the conclusion that the Zarude were oppressing other Pokemon
Yeah.
because they thought they were the owners of the jungle. Which at one point when the Pokemon were like, you're the one that ate all these berries, and then he's like, I'm not one of them. I'm like, so Pokemon are racist.
Yes.
But seeing the Elder come to that conclusion and being like so like horrified by the choices he
Kinda our
made,
fault,
like
ain't it?
that was actually like him coming to that conclusion. I was like, that's oddly nice.
Yeah. Did we also talk about the Papa Zarude trying to ask for forgiveness from the forest Pokemon?
No, so we kind of briefly went through it.
Oh yeah, that's a good scene.
But yeah, so after Coco's like fighting the robot, and I don't think he gets like hurt, but he's like in the middle of fighting.
He's beat up and then he's like, you stay here, I'm gonna go help.
Yeah, Dad Zarude goes to all the other Pokemon that Coco. So Coco makes friends with a bunch of the wild Pokemon, but because his dad is Zarude, at the beginning, like the Zarude are like, yeah, we're gonna fuck shit up because this is our forest. They take out. So all the other Pokemon hate the Zarude. So when Dad Zarude shows up, out of context, like you don't know that I'm this one or not, whatever. He's like, look, I'm sorry, we suck. Zarude suck. But Coco's gonna die. I need your help. And then like the Nuzleaf just starts like chucking oranberries out. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, kind of thing.
And I made the comment, I was like, scarf those up. Those are free HP.
That's what I thought it was at first. I thought that was like the end of it, where he's like, I'm sorry, and then like, ugh, eat that shit. He's like,
I don't forgive you, but I'll feed you, motherfucker. I love it because then he brings up the thing earlier and he's just like, Flygon. He always said you're like, and he tells everybody what he said.
and because that when Coco was talking about it the first time, he says Flygon is tough and fast and he'll start a fight, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he says like, I don't know the Japanese names. He was like, yo, this Pokemon is super fast, the fastest in the jungle. I'm like, Ninjask. Okay, got it. And then he's like, this Pokemon will stick to anything and never let go. I'm like,
It's like Moment or something like that. Moment.
Cottony. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, that was almost bad as doing the Pokédex. I'm like, Mon. Okay, yeah, Cottony. That makes sense. It's six of shit. Okay.
So the scene where he's like, I could be the gap between human Pokemon, I saw that and instantly thought of N.
I was gonna do this hot take that Coco's a better N. I love N, but N's really cool from a Gen 5 perspective. But Coco's better N.
Yeah, Coco's just a better, way better. Probably gonna fuck him up physically as well. And
Coco is just,
He's blocking the staircase. Coco's like, get the fuck out of the way! Just like checks him down the stairs.
Zekrom, be my friend.
He
All right,
headlocks the
Coco.
Zekrom. He's just like, choking him out.
Oh man. But yeah, Coco goes on his journey. Zarude hangs around the jungle, being his cool stuff. Celebi shows up and says, "Hey, looks like you guys are having a happy ending after all." They fly around the jungle. Celebi flies, Zarude's swinging. They're showing everyone be happy and whatever. They do one of those great things where like their narrator's doing the outro, whatever. And as he swings in, he's just like, "Oh, the world of pocket monsters, but some of us call them." And then like Zarude freezes on screen. It's like Pokemon, and like fade to black. I'm like, okay.
And then we get the vibing Cramorant and
Yeah.
fucking Squavit, and then we get the fan art up top.
We
which
didn't
is
even
great.
talk about
Squavit
Squavit.
looks so good in 3D.
We didn't even
so
talk
I
about
hate
Squavit.
Squavit in the actual game. I think it looks lame.
I love Squavit. I hate Greedent.
Yeah.
So Greedent looks like Fred Flintstone if you turn him into a whatever the fuck he's
Yeah.
supposed to be. But Greedent looks so good on like
Squavit.
not the
Squavit?
game. Squavit.
Yeah.
He looks so good. I like him a lot. Like his design. He's no Bidoof, but I love
So
him.
Squabble was great in this because he was another like not entirely comic relief because he was more like, "This is my buddy." I don't know if anyone else felt this when Coco left. He's like, "I'm going on a journey." I'm like, "Take the fucking Squabbit." Like that's. I don't know if he's going to be a Pokemon master or anything, but like bring.
He's just Scratch from Ice Age.
Yeah. I was like, Squabbit was cool. He was like, he was Coco's Pikachu.
Did you see him in the montage?
What, when he was dancing and stuff? Or
No. So in the beginning of in the beginning with the montage of him growing up, there's
Yeah.
a part where he can't get to sleep, and he grabs the Squabbit by the tail and
Yeah.
like, yanks him and cuddles up to him, and he falls asleep. And Zarude's like, "Fuck it, if it works." And
Yeah.
then that's when he wakes up and it's Squabbit, it's Squabbit, Coco, and it's landed.
Just watching Zarude become a parent was
Yeah.
just like one of the best things.
The whole
And
breviary flashback
I
was also
would.
very good.
I don't know if we're gonna get this, but with the way that the movie ended, I would love to see Coco, like more stories with Coco.
Well, the director's trying to make all the movies be connected. So it's
Pokemon
like-
Legends of Coco. I'll
Yeah.
play a game.
I'll play that. Yeah. It's just you fucking up the Pokemon.
Bro.
There's no Pokeballs. It's just,
Coco's gonna go back to Kanto and box Ash's primate. He's gonna let's go.
Why didn't you go after
poster,
Satoshi?
poster, it's gonna be the back of Coco like this, and different body parts of different Pokemon. It's like their arm over here.
His whole thing is to go find Ash. He's gonna have like Pidgeot's wing mounted on the wall. He's gonna have Labras's horn stuck there.
Speaking of that, there was a moment where Ash was like, "Don't worry, I'll come and visit," and part of me was just like,
Liar.
"You're a
Oh,
liar!
no.
You're a fucking liar!
No,
Don't do that
keep in
shit
mind,
again."
Ash is still 10, so from the first movie
He's
to
got
this
plenty of
movie,
time.
and the last 20 years, it's only
Oh
been like
yeah,
a
that's
weekend
right.
or two.
Ash
so.
lives in a
It's
time
only been a
paradox.
weekend.
Ash has done 20 years of work in like
A weekend.
in a
This is
week.
the weekend with his mom. We're only watching the weekend with his mom. His parents are separated, and
Cute interactions with his mom as well. No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are great. They start off being like, "Why don't you ever? Did you pack clean underwear?" All that stuff, and at the end, I just want to see your face. Like, you fucking broken?
You never say that.
Yeah.
so realistically, where is Coco gonna go though? Because like he has no concept of getting a job.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that too.
Yeah, he has no concept of like being a Pokemon trainer.
He can't even speak to
He
people.
can't- yeah, he can't speak.
except for like 8 words.
What happens when he goes to the city and there's no random ass fruits to pick on? Or I imagine that he eats bugs as well.
That just sounds like a YouTube like bit of
He
someone's
just
like
rips
how
hair
Coco
across
should have
in half
ended.
and just like eats.
We'll leave that to Matt Pat.
Yeah. So what did Coco do after he left the jungle? Well, he didn't become a Pokemon master, but that's just a theory.
He became Ash's primate.
He became a lawyer.
He's just Inosuke.
But that, unless anyone else had anything else to say, was
He looks like
Great
a
choreography. I know we brought it up before, but like
Yeah.
fantastic like battle
So good.
scenes and
And the,
stuff.
and the
So
music,
great.
the like drums.
yeah. I gotta like get that track.
100%. That music was made using Donkey Kong Conga.
It's called
100%. They were like,
it's called the Rule Song.
What is it?
The Rule Song.
Okay.
Yeah.
the,
I like
the,
that song.
the English versions go like Pika, Pika, Pikachu, Pika.
They're
Or
gonna be
something
like,
that.
"We are Zarude. We live in." It's gonna be like the worst rendition ever.
They're gonna do the whole one world, two family.
I'll bring up DBZ, unfortunately.
Oh, God.
But
They're
the
gonna get Nate wants to battle.
We're gonna talk about
the
why.
Dragon Ball Super version of like gun 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 gun.
Yeah.
The English
Oh,
version.
Yeah, no, dude.
Well, they brought it up, so I'm gonna say something Naruto. I'm just kidding.
We're going to talk about One Piece here, everybody. But that was Secrets of the Jungle. Excellent movie, great film. Guys,
Hold on, this is the first movie apart from Dark Card that everybody enjoyed.
correct?
I mean,
think-
Detective Pikachu as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This one, I didn't hear people say anything negative in this one compared to any
Yeah.
other movie.
I'm intrigued when it comes to ranking. We're gonna get into this.
Some good fucking food.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
KFC, baby,
Say the
fuck
line,
you.
Danny.
What's that?
Say the line, Danny.
Say the line, Bart.
You said it already. The water.
No.
What?
I'm waiting for them to ask replacements.
Oh, we're not
Where,
doing that.
where do we think it's gonna fall?
Probably number 22. right above Mewtwo Returns.
Get out.
All right, let's get into it. Guys, does anybody have a confident spot where they believe this movie belongs?
Number fucking one.
Number
First
one.
place.
One. Okay.
Number one.
That's 3 people that just said 1, so I think.
All right, well, John, where do you think it belongs?
Top 5.
Top five, okay. So I have this movie very high on my personal list, and I can go into detail in the next one once we're actually looking at it. The one concern I had when it came to placement was recency bias. And
That's what I fell asleep last night thinking about that.
yeah.
So for me, the placement of this, you guys this is the first movie that you watch in Japanese, and I think
Correct.
that affects how much you enjoy the movie, because the story, you're getting the original story compared when you're
Yeah.
getting in translation, and they change things.
Because I don't want to. This movie was kick-ass. I love the entire thing. There's part of me that's like, every other movie we've watched, I've seen at least once or twice before, versus I'm seeing this for the first time. This is a fresh one. I'm like, yes, this is great. I love this movie. I'm wondering if I go back to watch it again next week, what's gonna be the problem? I'm like, oh, okay, we gotta get through this thing quick. And like, so that's why I'm like, I'm not being like, this is not a number one movie, but I'm like, what parts of it are going to make me prefer Rise of Darkrai? You know, like where does that fall? And I don't have the answer to that without
You've watched.
skipping forward in time.
Have you watched every movie coming up to this point?
Correct. Every movie on this list I have seen at least once.
Okay.
Zarude is the only
So
one.
that's
this
my.
is the first time seeing it.
I'm scared that I'm overhyping the movie, because when you watch a movie, it's very easy to overhype it because you just got done watching it.
Yeah.
It's like when a Marvel movie comes out, and you always say, "This is my favorite movie," until like the next one comes out, whatever. So that's the problem where I'm at, because this is just like you. This is the first movie that I haven't seen. And for me, I like it a lot, and it's entertaining. And by me not saying it's number one doesn't mean that it's.
That it is not number one.
Yeah,
It's
it was entertaining and everything was right in it, but
Yeah.
I still like there's at least 3 movies that I like more than this one.
Yeah. And I think it also has a good advantage of coming off of Evolution, which
Yeah.
was like a shit show of a bottom of the list, and then Detective Pikachu, which was like, that was a good movie, but you know, it was a step away from the 2D animation, like it was a different beast altogether, versus all the others that kind of had 2D, 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 2D. This is obviously better than this one, or I think this one had that opportunity to get away from the others and now be like, oh cool, it's way better.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't want it to sound like I'm like, yeah, this movie probably belongs lower. I just think it's
that's
something
the
to keep
struggle
in
that I
mind
had.
of like, I've seen Darkrai, I know I love Darkrai.
That's the
I've
struggle
seen
that I
Zarude,
had.
do I love it again?
That's why I put it number 10, because it started on my personal list. It started so high, and then I was like, do I like it more than this one, or is it because I just watched it
Yeah.
and I'm hyped about it? And then I was like, well, I like this scene more on this. And then it kept dropping down until I was like, originally I had dropped to 11. I'm like, no, this movie's not 11.
Yeah.
And I personally, I think it should be on my top 5. But the way that I did my grading is, it ended up being top 10, which to me feels like it's too low. But I also can't move things down.
Yeah.
And make it sense.
I will make a counter argument
Sure.
to, and this ultimately does come down to, I guess, personal preference. But for me, I haven't seen a lot of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
I've only watched them the ones that we have with this podcast.
Sure.
This is one of the first movies that I've watched where I was like, I want to see this again. I genuinely want to see this again. And I think that maybe goes to speak a little bit in terms of volume as to how good this movie may possibly be.
Yep.
That it's not just you feeling that, and maybe that's not just because of how recent it is.
Yeah, because I know, again, because I know I'd seen them all. I think you'd seen them all. I know you guys have said there were a couple. You're like, I've seen up to this. I haven't seen
I've
anything after
only
this.
seen the first 3.
Right, so you hadn't seen the
before
rest of them.
this, so-
I think you said you saw up to like the Gen 6 ones or somewhere in that ballpark.
I bounced around.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
I saw like weird ones.
I don't know which ones you did or didn't see.
I've seen the
leading up,
first
but-
3 and then a sporadic one here and
Yeah.
there. I've seen the Genesect movie before, but I
Did you
wasn't paying
remember?
attention to
Yeah.
it, so this is kind of like the first
Yeah.
true time I sat down and watched.
So,
So-
I think Zarude is great. I cannot see it going below number 4 for me, based on everything else we have here.
Danny likes Temple of the Sea better.
Wait till you see my personal.
Oh.
2000's up there. Like we have 2000 really low
Yeah.
compared to how Danny feels about 2000.
That's the next episode. So as we wrap this one up, I will not argue it does not belong at number 1. But yeah, I think it's at least number 4 up. I would put it.
Hands?
All right, hands
Way
up.
to do it.
All right, let's start. Wait, hold on. Sorry, everyone can put your hands
Last-
down. Rest your arms for a second because I realized I didn't do the. I can't go to the last episode and not do the traditional wrist.
Last time
wrist lead.
for
the
a
list
little
lead.
while.
Last chance to one breath it.
Oh, fuck that noise. The top 24 as of before voting for Zarude look like number 24, Pokemon Black and White. Number 23, Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. Number 22, Chris, you can rest your arm, bud.
Mama didn't raise a bitch. This
All
is
right,
staying up.
sounds good. Number 22, Mewtwo Returns. Number 21, Pokemon Ranger and Temple of Sea. Number 20, Pokemon 2000. Actually, it's kind of nice, 20, 2000. Number 19, Pokemon Forever. Number 18, Genesect, The Legend Awakened. Number 17, Jirachi Wishmaker. Number 16, Kieran vs. Sword of Justice. Number 15, The Power of Us. Number 14, Niantic, Cocoon of Destruction. Number 13, Volcanion, The Mechanical Marvel. Number 12, Lucario, The Mystery of Mew. Number 11, Spell of the Unknown. Number 10, Pokemon Heroes. Number 9, Zoroark, Master of Illusions. Number 8, Arceus and the Jewel of Life. Number 7, Pokemon the First Movie. Number 6, Detective Pikachu. Number 5, I Choose You. Number 4, Hoopa and the Clash of Ages. Number 3, Giratina and the Sky Warrior. Number 2, Destiny Deoxys. I think I fucked some up there. Number 1, Rise of Darkrai. Anyone have a strong place to think this movie won't? All right, hands up. Let's start. Does this movie go above Detective Pikachu? Above I Choose You? Above Hoopa? Above Giratina? Above Destiny Deoxys?
That's a good problem. See, that's a good problem.
Above Rise of Darkrai. Okay, well, there you have it, y'all. The numbers mean
Who would have thought? I would
know what's
not have
crazy?
thought this
Dude.
movie would have been at the freaking top
Yeah.
of our list
Like I
when
said,
we first started.
when-
this.
when-
I think
I-
every movie after this, and you guys are gonna disagree. I think every movie after this, because it's a new movie hype, and if they keep the same director and everything, will be consistently on top. I'm not saying hype.
Right.
I'm saying the story
If
style.
they continue to keep this level of passion and quality.
Yeah. Like the director clearly cares about. I mean,
Yeah.
other than the evolution, he fucked that up.
I
but
think
everything
there's
else-
gonna be. I also give that Zarude is a cool Pokemon that did not get the recognition it deserved until this movie, and because of the reach of this movie, we didn't know how cool Zarude was until watching this.
Also, keep in mind that he didn't use other legendaries.
Right.
Most of the movies are known for using many legendaries or badass Pokemon.
You know what else is a really cool thing about this movie?
What?
No Charizard, no Mewtwo, no Lucario. Like none of the typically used.
Yeah.
They
I
stuck
think that
on with
the,
something
clearly
new
the
and
director's
interesting.
very passionate about this, and I think that because of evolution, I was afraid for this movie. So I went to this movie expecting the worst, and came out smiling, happy. I loved it.
Yeah.
Out of the Japan airport. However, I think that if this movie and I Choose You is an indication of the way that this new
Disney
universe
movies
is
are
going to go by, I 100% hope they keep going. With the next movie, they don't even. They clearly shown that Ash doesn't have to be the main character, and they don't have to rely on big Pokemon names because Zarude's not a big name because we barely know anything.
It's a
about
random
him.
distro that most people don't have
Yeah.
yet.
It's this movie that's making his name big. So I think that it shows that they can literally grab any Pokemon, and if the story's there, they can make it work.
The other small little thing that I like about this movie, despite the fact that it doesn't have a lot of like mainstays, there are a lot of Pokemon.
There
in this
are.
movie.
Yes,
There's,
there are.
that's
Good
the
bit.
part that I loved about it. It had the whole proof of concept. Before Detective Pikachu, no movie did it.
Yeah.
It was like Pokemon exists because the scene calls for it to exist. This movie actually had Pokemon interacting the way that they should, had them in the right places. There's an
Yeah.
abundance of Pokemon, and they were all like not from one gen either. They were
Right.
all
They scatter. There was
Yeah.
Gen 2. Yeah, there was a good bit of Pokemon
Which
here.
makes
It was great.
Pokemon we get to choose. So rich.
I was
So ripe with choices.
When I finished Detective Pikachu, I was like, all right, there goes the last good one. Time to watch the newest one. It's only in Great. And then I sat down and I put it on and I was like, I'll just eat lunch and watch it.
Yeah.
I think I told Chris, I was watching it and then like
Just dropped my food. I was that.
I was sitting there watching it, and I was like, okay, this looks nice. And then I heard the music, and I was like, okay, yes, fuck yes, that's one good thing. And then this is so stupid and oddly specific to me, but it's all the Pecha Berry Pit, and I was like, I like that. That feels real to me. Cool. Yeah. And then I just saw like the animations, the interactions, like all of it, and it just hit like notes for me. And I was like, this right now, like it was only at like 30 minutes in. I was like, this is my number one right now.
Did you never watch Ash teach his treacle bullet seed?
I've not seen a whole lot of anime.
So basically,
they eat the berries,
oh, okay.
and then they'll shoot the pits out.
Yeah, he's like,
but
he's like, now do that with your mouth. He's like, okay.
But yeah, I was like 30 minutes in, and I was like, wow, this is my number one already. And then like as it kept going, I was like, right now, anything that happens, I will have to judge it if it's better or worse than problems I had with previous movies.
Yeah.
And just nothing went wrong, and I was like, holy fuck.
Like I said, I agree, and I would want to talk to myself a month from now and be like, do you think it belongs up here? Does it stand? You know, it's just watching it last night and talking about it now. I'm like, there's just that concern that it doesn't belong at number one above Darkrai. But
so then here's what you do:
start the podcast over.
You go to YouTube. you make you record a whole video of yourself now asking questions, and then do a reaction to that, answering the questions.
Mr. Beast did that. He recorded himself as a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Into his like adult self.
I like those videos. Before we move on to the next section, though, we have to go through the list one more time. As it stands, movie number 25, we have our full list completed. Looks like this. Number 25, Pokemon Black and White. Number 24, Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. Number 23, Mewtwo Returns. Number 22, Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. Number 21, Pokemon 2000. Number 20, Pokemon Forever. Number 19, Genesect and the Legend Awakened. Number 18, Jirachi Wishmaker. Number 17, Kyurem versus the Sword of Justice. Number 16, The Power of Us. Number 15, Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction. Number 15, Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel. Number 13, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Number 12, Spell of the Unknown. Number 11, Pokemon Heroes. Number 10, Zoroark Master of Illusions. Number 9, Arceus and the Jewel of Life. Number 8, Pokemon the First Movie. Number 7, Detective Pikachu. Number 6, Pokemon I Choose You. Number 5, Hoopa and the Clash of Ages. Number 4, Giratina and the Sky Warrior. Number 3, Destiny Deoxys. Number 2, Rise of Darkrai. And number 1, Secrets of the Jungle.
You said it like Rise of Darkrai.
Yep, I had to do it. I was gonna try and do it for Rise of Darkrai. I'm like, I don't know how to do it at number 2. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Danny's brain.
It's the Rise of Darkrai. I just realized.
The
I
Rise.
was on this website where all the movies were listed. I kept writing Rise of Darkrai. It wasn't showing up, and I'm like. So I went to a different one. It's like, really? Over the word duh? You're
Whatever. Eat my ass. But that, as of now, is the definitive list of how we as a crew have rated the Pokemon movies. Before we call this an episode, we must now do the Pokemon Poll Challenge. Every week we pick a Pokemon that appeared in this movie, we put them into a Discord poll, and we vote on, you guys vote on which Pokemon you think is the best of the pack. This week, for the final episode of the active poll challenge before a new movie comes out and we do it again, John, you get to select first. There it is. Yep. Didn't even let me finish the thing. Cramorant, perfect. Great meme Pokemon. I know for a fact.
Fuck, you said meme Pokemon?
Meme?
It's not a meme Pokemon, but it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, I get you, dog. Sorry, Snom, I had to get you out of here.
Sorry, you weren't in this movie.
But I have to get my boy Grubbin. Y'all know I disrespected this little fucker when he came out. I was like, it's just fucking. I'm sorry, you're right.
That's just an ice Grubbin. You can
it's ice Grubbin.
I think you have to remove your vote because you called him the wrong Pokemon.
You're right. This guy. Give me Heracross again. No. Give me back my Charge.
He wasn't there.
Yeah. I misspoke. Too fast. No, Charjabug. I hated this thing when they showed it off. I'm like, it's just a rectangle with horns. Little fucker carried me like most of the way through fucking Sun and Moon.
Oh boy, carries.
Because he's just like, oh, you want to talk shit, bitch? I can't evolve till you get to Electric Rock at like the 7th island or whatever. But
pretty much the last place.
Yeah.
You're at the end of the game. I can evolve.
You can't evolve for so long.
You can get a battery charger that's shaped like a Charjabug.
Yeah, I thought about just like making a zipper on this and like, something like that. But yeah, I'm picking Charjabug. So Dante.
I have two strong choices, and I'm so torn. I'm just gonna flip a coin in my head, and
How
Heads.
do you do that? You put the head of your
Top.
I have a
Flip
way.
ahead of your coin.
It's a spell of the unknown, trust me. I'm gonna go with Alcremie.
Ooh.
My other choice was Phalanx. I love this generation of
That's a good
Pokemon. I love
Some
this
good
generation.
ones.
I'll be upset.
I think there's a lot of Pokemon in this gen that
regardless
people.
of the game.
I think there's a lot of Pokemon that people don't shit on. And Gen 5 is a whole different beast. I think there's a lot of Pokemon from Gen 5 people choose to shit on, but they don't do it for this gen. I feel like Alcremie and Vanillite are like the same energy, but people shit on Vanillite.
No.
It's
mean, no?
I love.
Listen, I love Alcremie too. I just think desserts, everyone's like, oh, shit on Vanillite.
It makes sense. I love that.
Dude, it's because people say 5th gen is the most uninspired gen because ice cream cone.
That's actually not what it is
Cake.
to me, but
Cake and milk.
I went off Monday on Connor's and listed he got annoyed, but I listed every single Pokemon, which is over 120 Pokemon that are based on other Pokemon.
He was like, all right, fine, whatever. Gen 5's great, whatever. Kanai.
I'm picking Wooloo.
Okay, I feel you.
Well, does that thing have nipples?
It's got
those
little feet.
are its little tiny feet.
Little tiny feet.
Oh,
Little nipples. Milk the snom.
Just like Ralt has eyes. Didn't know that
I'm in an
until.
interesting spot. All my choices are available.
All right,
Why is
Chris, go
nobody
ahead, talk it
picking
out, dog. You think about it. You get to pick the last Pokemon in the poll challenge.
All right, because the initial vote I wanted to go for was Zarude.
Okay, it's fair,
Because,
fair choice.
go for it.
But my boy Flapple's in here.
Oh,
He is.
Dude,
I love it. I love it because Ash is like, oh hey. He's like, no, no. And he just like flies away.
I was so disappointed with Flapple in the game because he's such a badass the concept, and then I train one and he's ass. And
Appleton is so much better.
Yeah.
So I honestly thought when Ash was chasing the Flapple, he was gonna fly away and then run off a bridge and smack into an Appleton and be like, oh fuck.
I thought Appleton was huge.
Yeah.
For some reason,
He looks like he would be.
but he's not.
Dude, I'm just saying, if
He's the size of
Appleton
a
was,
pie.
if Appleton was in here, that would be my vote. But no, I'm gonna go Zarude.
Okay, all right.
I gotta go with
better
the
dragon.
way.
The literal spider monkey.
As we look at this final poll challenge, I will let you guys know that since there's no more official episodes until we get another movie, there is one more episode to come. We are going to be going through our personal list, talking about where we personally ranked all the movies. So make sure you stay tuned for that. In that video, I'll announce who won the overall poll challenge. I don't know how we'll do it or how we'll award whatever, who will talk about their victory, but we'll figure it out.
Post-edit Danny
figure
here.
that out.
Yeah, post-edit Danny's got it. He's a good guy. He's good at that shit. But as you review
Andrew's
here,
right here. He's like, hey guys, posted at Danny. I'm still a piece of shit.
post-edit Danny. I didn't post anything. I don't know who won. So subscribe. Maybe I'll announce it in a Call of Duty video or something.
Welcome to the poll challenge.
6
Everything's
years
made
later.
up. and
Oh
points
shit,
don't
I forgot
matter.
the bowl challenge. Just save it for a bit. Everybody's joining. They're like, Danny, where's the poll challenge results?
I just ignore them all and be like,
Yeah.
I
What are you talking about?
I'm like, hey guys, I'm quitting YouTube. By the way, can I won? The nominees for this week are as follows: John with Cramorant, myself with Charjabug, Dante with Alcremie, Kanai with Wooloo, and Chris with Zarude. Make sure you go over to the community Discord. There's a whole tab for the Pokemon Poll Challenge. All you have to do is select the reaction of the Pokemon you think is the best from this movie. The point will be awarded, and we will have a definitive winner. At this point, I think it is between Chris and I for the winner. I think currently, at the time of recording, there's still 4 polls to go, but Chris is 1 point ahead of me, so
Sylveon brought it home.
yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be some magic comeback. Maybe Connor wins somehow. I can shoot one in one of these videos. Sunkern. If Sunkern goes back and wins before this video goes up, Connor gets 20 points and wins. But that is the poll challenge, and that is the episode. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Pokemon Got 'em Watch 'em All. Like I said, stay tuned. There will be an episode where we go through our personal list. I want to make sure you guys catch that as well. See where everyone thinks this movie belongs. Watch us probably argue for an hour. It'll be great. Looking forward to it. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up. Help spread the video so more people get to see it. And stick around, because as more Pokemon movies come out, whether it's next week, next year, or 10 years from now, we'll probably sit down to review it. If you guys want to stick around for that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That will get notifications every time a new video comes out. And we will see you guys next time.